The Port of Kennewick is the fifth oldest of the 76 ports in Washington state, and Port of Kennewick was the very first port established in eastern Washington. Since 1915, the port's mission and services have evolved as the local economy has grown. What started out as a small port district providing docking and terminal facilities for steamboats has grown to a 485 square mile district serving the cities of Kennewick, Richland south of the Yakima River, all of West Richland, a small part of Benton City, and some of the unincorporated areas of Benton County. Today, the Port of Kennewick's mission is to facilitate trade and economic development and to promote tourism. And during the past decade, the port has been leading efforts to reclaim and revitalize historic waterfronts and redeveloping a former airfield into a regional town center. The port's commissioners and staff recognize that they are stewards of the taxpayers' resources, and the port is in a strong financial position. Port of Kennewick has no debt, and property owners are paying 25% less tax to the port than just a few years ago. In West Richland, the Port of Kennewick owns 93 acres near Red Mountain, making it a prime location for large volume wine production, warehouses, manufacturing, and services. The port's land was recently annexed into the West Richland city limits, which will allow for extension of city utilities. When fully developed, that site could attract $75 million in private investment and more than 1,000 jobs. Port of Kennewick has long advocated for new interchange access from Interstate 82 to Red Mountain. At Benton City, Phase 1 is complete, and Phase 2 creates access to the port's land and a new West Richland gateway. West Richland is the only city between Seattle and the Tri-Cities without interstate access. Phase 2 of the Red Mountain interchange will be a transportation aid for the people who live and work nearby, and for emergency services that will have new access when complete in 2021. The Port of Kennewick Spalding Business Park in Richland is a 30-acre professional, medical, and corporate development site. The Northwest Orthopedic and Sports Medicine facility is under construction. Only 10 years ago, Spalding Business Park was vacant land. Today, $37 million in private investment has occurred, and Spalding businesses support 425 jobs. Port of Kennewick also recognizes that Badger Mountain and Ridgeline trails are special places that improve the community's health and attract and retain citizens and visitors. The port partnered with Richland and Benton County to improve access to the Friends of Badger Mountains trail network by adding a new paved parking lot at Richland's Trailhead Park. Port of Kennewick's early investment at Southridge helped foster a new community gateway. The port acquired and swapped land to accommodate Trios Health. The port then sold property for private development and surrendered property taxes to the city's local revitalization financing plan for streets and infrastructure. Today, Southridge is a retail hotspot and recreational destination. On Clover Island, the port made even more improvements. The launch ramps were replaced and new restrooms constructed, along with artwork, a scenic viewpoint, picnic area, and paved parking. The project was funded in part with a state boating grant and supported by the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation. The port is now working with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to restore habitat on Clover Island and to extend the public trail from the lighthouse along the island's north shoreline. Later this year, the port will remove its former office building so the Corps can easily access the site. When the Corps' project is complete, the port will have waterfront parcels available for commercial development. Last month, the port and city held a groundbreaking to initiate construction of the Columbia Gardens Wine and Artisan Village. The city has extended the waterfront trail, and they will install a streetscape and the wine effluent treatment system. The port will then construct and lease the first buildings, bringing small production wineries and tasting rooms to Kennewick's historic waterfront. The plan is for those buildings to be completed by spring of next year. On both Clover Island and Columbia Drive, waterfront parcels will be leased or sold in response to market demand as the private sector implements future development. At Vista Field, the master plan for redevelopment is nearly complete. Public involvement has been essential to this community-driven plan, and small-scale city blocks with pedestrian-friendly neighborhoods, a mix of work and open spaces, restaurants, and shops were identified as critical elements. In addition, the Art Center Task Force is currently working to raise private funds for an 800-seat purpose-built art center, which they have proposed constructing at Vista Field. The Port is hopeful that performing arts and other public facilities can be a catalyst to bring vibrancy and energy to future development. Indeed, at full build-out, Vista Field could include more than 1,000 living units, 750,000 square feet of office, retail, and restaurants, and 5 acres of parks, all of which would represent a $500 million private sector investment. Port of Kennewick is preparing a Phase 1 financing plan. The Port is determined to take a pay-as-you-go approach and will fund development from land sale proceeds and by leveraging cash and collateral, meaning that there will be no tax increase requested to transform Vista Field into a regional town center. The Port of Kennewick takes its Economic Development Authority seriously. By building and operating development buildings, managing a public-use marina and commercial waterfronts, and redeveloping neighborhoods, the Port is working to facilitate trade, tourism, recreation, and employment within the district while improving the quality of life for all the Port citizens and surrounding community. The Port of Kennewick. We're open for business.